Hello, I'm Tony Fasula, and I share the stage with my esteemed friend and colleague, Taya Boya. Taya, hello, my friend. I hope you're keeping safe and well.
Yeah, what the hell?
Come on, I'm going to ask you to be positive and say hi to our audience. Come on.
No.
Ah! Oh, Mr. Grumpy here. I'm going to do it. Hello, audience. Welcome to the shenanigans. Now, in today's show, we discuss quite an interesting topic that Taya came up with. In an equal society, can women actually avoid hating men? So, Taya, as this is one that you came up with, do you want to kick things off, please?
The chaps in the community called MGTOW.
Could you explain that to the audience, what that stands for?
MGTOW, MGTOW. And yes, it is pronounced MGTOW, and not as some people say MAGTOW or some weird thing like that. The MGTOW community is a reaction to being red-pilled. So it's part of the gender dynamic that we see in society today.
Do you want to also explain what the red pill means? Because there's going to be some of our listeners that don't quite understand what that is.
Fair enough. Those who remember the film Matrix, which I think that was 1996, which is quite a while ago now, unbelievably. The Matrix, remember that Neo, the main character played by Keanu Reeves, met with a character called Morpheus, which is played by
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. And Morpheus offered Neo a red pill and a blue pill. The blue pill would return him to his former existence. He'd be none the wiser as to what was going on. But the red pill would open up his eyes and his consciousness to the reality, the harsh realities of what was really going on, that humans were living in the Matrix. And in the same way, we, in today's gender politics arena, on the male side, we need to be red-pilled to the real behavior of women, not the behavior that we've been led to believe since we were born, because we were taught various things by our elders, by the people who came before us, and by society itself. And it's very difficult for us to see the reality of women's characters, the true nature of women, as we like to say, the true nature of women, without being red-pilled. So when you become red-pilled, you understand the true nature of women, which is basically gynocentry. What's it? Gynocentry. It's no, actually, I messed that up. It's not gynocentry. As I remember, I'll let you know. But the long and short of it is, you wake up to the true nature of women, and what happens then? So one possible reaction is one that some men go down that route. It's called PUA, pickup artists. And they just want to have sexual relations with as many women as they can, and they don't really care. And they go about studying it almost scientifically, how to pick up women, any woman. They like to think, which is nonsense. It can't be any woman, but it's a great number of available females that they're able to walk in, irrespective of how they look and how, and they studied that way so that the success rate is quite high with women. That's one route. The other route, of course, is it's thrust upon them. I don't think they're red-pilled. I was going to say the incel, but that's wrong, because incels, they're involuntarily celibate. So actually, no, forget about the incels. But the incel.
Again, could you elaborate as to what incel is? Again, some of our
incel is IN from involuntary, and cel, CEL, from celibate. So any man who is involuntarily celibate, it means he just can't get any women. Poor schmuck. You can't, maybe, you know, too weak to whatever it is. They can't get even, so they become very grumpy about it and very hateful and very insular and very removed from society, and they end up blaming women. So that is not a red-pilled person, to be honest with you. I think that's just somebody who just hasn't got his act together, unfortunately. But you have another crowd, my crowd, the MGTOWs, MGTOW, men going their own way. And the MGTOWs are people who are red-pilled, and their reaction to it is to deal with women, because they understand the true nature of women is to deal with women by basically ignoring them, or not really caring about anything. Look, the manifesto doesn't matter what she wants, it doesn't matter what she says, it doesn't matter where she's been, it doesn't matter where she's going. She doesn't matter. End of.
Isn't that quite a horrible viewpoint, that you're now half our society is being ostracized? In other words, you don't care about them, and having that attitude, is that a good attitude to have, in your opinion?
Since I'm practicing it, obviously I think it's a fantastic attitude to have, because it deals with the reality of the situation, and we are not being, as the opposite of being red-pilled is blue-pilled, and being a white knight and thinking that, you know, oh, we can solve this and everything. We believe that female nature is such that, as we're going to discuss in this show, is such that if you give them what they want, you don't get a thank you. You actually get hatred in response. So it is an error to give women what they want. There's this word I'm going to use now. It's a rude word, but it's part and parcel of the MGTOW philosophy, or maybe the red-pilled philosophy. It's called a shit test. That it is the nature of women to shit test men. They'll ask you to do something which is somewhat demeaning to your masculinity, and then they will carefully watch to see whether you reject it or you accept it. Now, blue-pilled men who are thirsty, as that's a new word now, which has cropped up recently to mean basically what you and I, Tony, in our generations would have said, horny, who are anxious for sex. They think, oh, by doing this, by going out of the way, they will, the woman will be more attracted to them, and they stand a better chance of getting some. Think about a woman who says to somebody who's been pursuing her ardently, she says to him, well, I'm going out with this guy tonight, but if you wait for me, if you can come and pick me up and then drop me off at his house and then bring me back from his house, you know, I would be really happy. I'd be really grateful for that. It's a shit test. What do you mean I should take you to another guy's house? But some men are so stupid that they go ahead and they do that. And as we will discuss in this episode, that's the best possible way of having her hate you and think of you as being supremely weak. And from her point of view, is she actually wrong? How can you like her if you're willing to take her to somebody else's house? Where's your jealousy?
How many examples of this is there?
Well, this was an extreme case, but the general philosophy, okay, just like hold my handbag whilst I go into the shop. That's a shit test right there. I'm not going to hold your stinking handbag, man.
Why?
I'm a man. Because I'm a man.
You sure you haven't got a problem with your masculinity here? That you're feeling it's being threatened by women?
How can a woman threaten my masculinity?
Well, you're fearful of a handbag.
I'm not fearful of a handbag. I'm not going to hold your handbag because I'm not a flipping woman. It's like me asking her to hold my dumbbells or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what I'd ask her to hold. Why would I ask her to hold anything? I'm the man. Thank you. I'll hold my own stuff. And I can hold your shopping, but I'm not going to hold your handbag. Why would I be standing there?
That's truly viewed in your eyes that a handbag is a female object only. So you would not even hold it.
If I saw a man holding a handbag, there's no excuse, man. As far as I'm concerned, whoever the hell he is, if I saw you holding a bag, well, if I saw you, Tony, if I saw someone else holding a handbag, that's it, just like, what a simp, SIMP, which is the opposite of A simp is anyone who does favors for women in the hopes of ingratiating himself with women. And those are simps. And actually the simp army is the worst, is where the problem lies. We don't think, we know that women cannot, under any circumstances, take power from men. They have to be given power. So I am one of the people in the mixed-out community who says, look, we don't actually have a quarrel with women, which is why I favor just ignoring them. We don't have a problem with women. It's not the women who caused this. Who caused this are the simps, the simp army, the blue pill simp army who go, oh yeah, we'll give this is our law. Our law is evidence, is based on evidence. There is a statute of limitations. But the simp army caved into the feminists, and now a woman can destroy a man by remembering something she says that happened 30 years ago. And we have to believe all women. And just like, what the hell happened? What happened to evidence? What happened to statute of limitations? What happened to all these things? It's like you can't, like this Supreme Court guy who was raked over the coals. And for what? For a few fake tears? And where did all that, how it was the simp army. So we men, I want a situation where we men start beating up simps. I mean, we have to become I'm too old now, by the way. I'm calling on the younger men to identify simps, gather around them, and hand out the beating of their lifetimes onto the black and blue all over.
You can't say that out loud. You're then inciting violence, so you can't use that term. So you can't say that. It's a physical harm.
Okay, I know what to say. I know what to say. I would love to live in a society where I could say to the young men, I mean, obviously I can't because it's illegal. I can't say to young men, which is what I'd love to do if we were living in a society, gather around the simps and hand out the hell of a beating for each and every simple simp until they're black and blue all over and they stop simping. That would be the best possible way for a society. But obviously, I'm not calling for that because obviously in this society, I can't.
We're going to have to remove that line, unfortunately. That won't get put out. That's a bit too harsh. So
I said I can't, so I didn't.
Well, you did. But okay.
No, I said in a society where we could, I would have. But this is not a society where I could, so I didn't.
Okay.
So if anybody speaks English knows that I didn't because I said you can't in a society. If you go around and you hand out a beating now, you can't say Taya told you to, because Taya actually said you can't do it in this society. I mean, it would be nice if we could in this society, but we can't because it's illegal. So don't do it in this society.
Okay. Now, so you're saying, right? You're saying basically a simp is somebody who does favors for women in order to get favors from women.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a quid pro quo scenario. So
no, he hopes, by the way, he hopes he'll get favors.
He hopes, yeah. But generally, hold on. So generally, when you do something for somebody, it's the law of reciprocation. You generally get something back. That's how society and the world at large works. Yes, it is. It is. It shouldn't be, oh, I'm not going to do anything for you. Do you expect them to do something for you then? So in your relationship, because you are married and you have children, so you do nothing for your wife then, do you, at all? You expect her to literally do everything for you.
I actually thought you were saying something else. So, but because where you started off isn't where you ended up. I thought you were saying that simps shouldn't, I mean, what are you trying to say? I'm actually confused as to what you're saying. I'm saying that a simp does things for women in the expectation that they'll do something back for them. So I don't know, are you saying that's right or are you saying that's wrong? What do you say?
That's how society works as well. How does somebody in a workplace do something for a boss that asks them, they snuck up and they brown nose because they hope that the boss will do something back? That's a basic reciprocation rule. And it's not only one gender or another gender against another gender. It's done within genders. It's just a rule that we as human beings actually do. You do something nice for somebody and hopefully it'll be returned at some point in the future. What do you mean?
Disgusting.
That's how it works.
Look,
so what you're saying then, you
holding a
don't do
woman's
that?
handbag in the hope that when she comes back, she will want to be with you is misunderstanding the true nature of women.
I think you're
She's not going to.
misunderstanding. She's
She's
doing
not.
it because all she needs is for you to help her out while she goes into the shop because her hands are full. But you
If
are
her hands
reading
are
that
full, take the shopping bags. Don't take the handbag.
because you
If her
feel that
hands are
your
full,
manhood is being
it's not a question of
affected.
I feel
Well, it
I
is.
know my manhood is being
Ah,
affected because
right.
she
Okay.
can't see me as being a man. No man stands there with a handbag because what's he doing in the handbag? I'm not a cross dresser. I'm
What's
not
that got to do
trans.
with
What
it?
the hell am I doing hanging there holding a handbag for? Now, is she tripped? If a woman falls over, trips, falls, and she's on all fours, and there's something, I don't know, the handbag, you can pick it up. I'm not saying I can't touch it. Whatever. But what do you mean? I'm standing outside, I don't know, is there Selfridge in
So
this
she
country?
hands you the
Harrods?
shopping and her handbag. You would refuse the handbag, but you would take the shopping.
No, she can put the I'll put the handbag into the shopping. I'm not
What if
going to
she's a
stand
big
there.
handbag? It's just another bag.
You know what? Just travel with that handbag, baby. Just keep rolling with it.
You have a problem with your masculinity, actually, because you feel threatened. So, what this sounds like is that a lot of people here are not actually comfortable with their masculinity because you feel it's under threat from females and you're reading too much into it when in fact a woman is just handing you a bag because her hands are full. However, you are taking that and
What
interpreting
about she wants to put
it
lipstick on my lips and says I look
no,
pretty, I look
that's
handsome with
different.
pretty.
You
No,
could
no, no.
challenge that.
You, Tony, would you?
No, of course I wouldn't.
Your wife wants to. She thinks you look pretty with lipstick on,
No,
and she
I
wants you to
wouldn't
put
have
lipstick.
that
Well, you have a problem with your masculinity too. Why can't you just wear the lipstick, man? You know you're a real man, so what's the problem?
because holding a
No, because what
handbag
you're going to
to
give me
doing a
now
favor.
is you're going to give me an excuse for why yours is different from mine. But actually,
No,
it's the same thing. I'm
where
not
you've
comfortable with a
got is
flipping
your
handbag.
levels. You've got
I
your
don't care about
levels.
levels. There's
Yeah.
the whole idea that I am not going to do that because I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't hold handbags for women.
Okay.
That's where
So
I
when
draw the
your
line.
wife off
So you,
next wants to cook you dinner and she doesn't want to do it, what are you going
Mhm.
to say to that? She can choose not to give it to you, not feed you. You can
why
say,
should
what
she?
are you going to say?
What's under what obligation is she to feed me? I mean, I can feed
I don't
myself.
know exactly. She's under
I'm a
none.
man. I'm
But
a
you're
real man.
assuming that because you're a man, she
Mhm.
should do it because that's her role as a woman.
Who
That's
told you
what you're
that?
now
Did I?
saying.
You thank you for putting words in my mouth. When did I
Okay.
ever say that in anything I've ever
Okay.
done?
So you don't
No, no.
expect me.
Anything I've ever said or done. Where did I
But can you see
ever
where
say that?
this? Can you see what this is?
No, I'm challenging you. When have I
MGTOW.
ever said anything like that? It's not
Okay.
MGTOW, it's MGTOW. Where did I ever say
MGTOW.
anything like that?
Okay. You are now
No, no, no.
bordering.
Don't go round the corner. When
Oh,
did I ever say anything like I expected
well,
her
you
to cook for
haven't.
me?
You haven't. But
No, why are you putting words in my mouth then?
okay. This is where this is looking like it's leading. I can make that judgment based on this information. Could
From
be
where? How?
incorrect. Because you are now having this masculine
I'm telling you what
testosterone
I would
driven.
do. I'm not saying what
Oh,
somebody else
okay.
should do. So if a woman wants to do this, that, or that, look, I don't care if women want to go into the army. I don't think they should go into the army. I'd hate to be in the army if they went into the army. But if that's what they want to do, they should go for it.
Right. Okay.
When MGTOW doesn't care what women do, I just told you what she does doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. It's only it's how I react. It's about me. It's not about them.
Okay.
So if she wants to cook, cook. If you don't want to cook, I'll cook.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
What?
enough.
You don't want to clean, I'll clean. But
Okay.
when you turn around and you want something from me, I can ask you, well, what have you done for me lately? How have you contributed to anything? Which is a dynamic partnership. It's like,
Yeah.
well, this is what I'm doing. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Questions. But it fundamentally boils down to we don't expect femininity or whatever it is from women. I'm not going to open the door for women anymore. I don't do that anymore. That doesn't mean that I feel my masculinity is threatened because I'm not going to open the door. What the hell are you talking about? It's a very simple thing to say, to attack a man. It's female behavior. One of the things about female behavior, I can tell when somebody is pretending to be. I'm not going to explain this on air. I don't want women to know how I can tell that an anonymous account is actually being run by a woman, but I find it quite easy to tell, and I think other MGTOWs do too, because all the markers are there. And one of them, all right, no, I'm not going to say. Anyway,
You
so
can't
yeah,
just leave it there like that.
I'm absolutely going to. I don't want to teach them. I don't want them to know what's going on and how we identify them. So absolutely not going to tell. I'm not going to say. But what you shouldn't. What is when you try to attack a man's masculinity? You know how it is. It's like what you've just done when you about the handbag and say, "Oh, Tyler, your masculinity is being threatened." Do you know why it's got my blood boiling? I was very sleepy when we started this, but actually I'm fully awake now. Thanks for that. I needed my blood pressure to be
Good.
increased.
Okay. I've got you back now.
You got me. You got me back.
back.
When you said that, it's like what? It's exactly what sort of women do. What they go like this. Hello, Jane. Let me teach you arithmetic. Okay. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. No, it isn't. It's equal to 5. No, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. No, it isn't. It's equal to 5. Look, we count them out. 1, 2, and another 2. 1, 2, see? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your penis is small.
What?
Yeah, exactly. What? What's my penis got to do with this? Have you noticed that whenever you speak to one, what's it? Oh, you must have a small dick. Oh, who hurt you? It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, your masculinity must be threatened. What the hell are you talking about? I have my principles, and I can't have principles unless they conform with yours. Otherwise, my masculinity is being threatened. What a horrible way of thinking. What a horrible thing to say or do.
You're making a big issue over.
But it's my issue to make.
Okay.
It's like the women it's like the men who say, I don't want to sleep with a big woman. There's an ongoing
I don't
new?
want to sleep with a, what was that? Sorry, I didn't hear.
A big rotund woman now. You know, this big rotund women. So the big women are on YouTube now, and I think I saw it on YouTube. I think on TikTok saying, if you're a real man, you can handle me. Say, we don't want to handle you, man. We don't like big fat women. What the hell are you talking about? So issues, man. It's like, but if we don't want you, then we're not comfortable with our masculinity. The trans people are trying this out now. If you don't want to sleep with a trans, by the way, what the hell is a trans woman? Is a trans woman a guy who now says he's a woman, or is it a woman who is not saying she's, what the hell is a trans woman?
A trans woman is a man who's transitioned to a woman, but may still have male.
Yeah, it always confused me. So a trans woman is claiming to be a woman, right?
Is previously a man.
Oh, but thank you. Trans woman, okay, because I don't know.
Trans woman was previously, or still is, a man in terms of his gender, in terms of his sexual organs. Yeah.
All right.
Now,
so
if a fully trans woman was previously a man that has had their sexual organs removed.
Yeah. It's like painting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. Anyway, so the trans woman, there are two, is given, is it lesbians or who is it given now? It's given lesbians, I think, a hard time because they've still got their bits. Some of these trans women have still got their bits, but they're blaming lesbians for not wanting to sleep with them. Even
Why are they blaming lesbians? I mean, that's just...
yeah, but isn't it? Oh, you can handle a handbag. You must be like this. It's the same freaking thing. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Don't people have a choice anymore?
Of course they have a choice.
Well, no, because you're going around saying that if you can't hold a woman's handbag, your masculinity must be threatened. It's just like,
no. I think you're making a really big issue about a handbag. You've got to get it into context. I can totally respect what you're saying about the lipstick. If a woman say, "Oh,
that's just because you agree with it," but no. I don't see why you're separating the two. You're comfortable with lipstick
of little things. You've got to sort of raise the bar as to when it
I don't have to raise the bar. You don't like lipstick. I'm perfectly happy to wear stinking lipstick if she wants me. I wear chapstick. It's not colored. It's transparent, but I wear chapstick.
Okay.
So what's the problem? So where's my masculinity threatening if she wants me to wear a deeper shade of red or something? I don't know, because it does her, it sends my wife. Ooh, if she did that, and I'm like, oh, okay, what the hell? I don't mind.
So you'll do that to please your wife with a hope of something else?
Yeah, if she wants to, if it makes her go,
There you go. This is what some
it doesn't.
Are doing. Simps are doing that on the hope that they may get their end away.
We know that Simps, I'm not saying that Simps are not doing it for that. I'm saying that Simps don't stand a chance of getting any, because that very behavior that they're doing of caving in like that is not going to help them. It's not. It actually turns women off.
how can you say
I've
that?
just said that if my wife was a weirdo and wanted me to wear lipstick because it sends her, then I'd be happy to wear the lipstick because it sends her. Because we know we're going to get some. That is different from when you're hoping you're going to get some. If you had a girlfriend, or when you were younger, you had a girlfriend, she said, "Hey, wear lipstick," it might send me. You wear the lipstick, and then she says, "You know what? I don't really care for that." That's your fault. You've walked around
Of course
with
it's not.
weirdo lipstick on.
Because that's how, from the beginning of time, a man chased a woman when he wanted a
Absolutely
woman.
not. From the beginning of time,
Is.
the most successful PUAs and all those, that's what they even say for the foundation thing, that you pass a shit test by telling her no. That's how you get women. So what you're teaching men is totally wrong. If you simp, you will get pushed to the back, and then you get friend zoned. And those are the people who end up in the friend zone. It is so completely wrong what you're saying. That is the thing, that you're blue pilled, you're not red pilled.
The way you have to behave women is treat them with masculinity, and they will respect you for it, and they'll give you sex, which is your ultimate aim. The ultimate aim
the whole idea of it is that they may or may not. No, because they may or may not give you sex. She might like it, she might not. She's not going to be attracted to you if she doesn't find you attractive just because you're being masculine. But she will respect you, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a leg over. But she will respect you. But if you act the way that you're saying, they won't respect you. They'll mistreat you.
Okay.
And they'll look down upon you.
How many relationships last long term with the man being that masculine with his woman? Or is it the relationships where there's actually, in your words, a bit of simping going on? Both sides, men and women.
I haven't got any stats. I don't have any stats. I don't know.
Well, when men and women are, you actually said it at the beginning, they're cooperating, so they give and take. That's what a relationship should be. They last longer. But if you're
when did I say that?
No, I'm saying it. But you said.
But you just put it in my mouth. You said earlier. You said
a part of it. You said a part of it. I've just.
A part of what?
It. You said that in a society, in a relationship, you not give and take, but you share things and you do stuff like, if a woman does want to cook, I'll cook. That's what a balanced relationship is. That's what you said, right?
That's aspirational.
Well, that's how it works. There's
actually,
no formula.
Actually, how it works is that two people sit down and they work out what they're happy to do and what they're going to do in the relationship. And from the outside of the relationship, nobody has a right to tell them what to do or what not to do.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's my position.
There's no formula for this. It depends on the individual.
Yeah, but there is a formula for simping. We know what a simp is, and we know what the outcome of simping is going to be. And we know
that's a little bit harsh, because if someone is nice to a woman, a particular woman may like that and may think, do you know what? I love this man.
We always speak about.
Attentive. I'm only giving an example.
We always speak about the majority of cases. We can't account for every edge case. So obviously, when I say simping is bad, it can never be 100% across the board, can it?
Agreed. You're not providing any figures either, so you can't claim to say what you're saying is right either.
No, we can claim to say, because we see that behavior, and this is why women hate
circles. What if I'm seeing different behavior in the circles I attend?
But from everything you said, I don't know how to put this politely. You're blue pilled, man. So from everything you said, I mean, you're not seeing anything. You're not red pilled. I think we can both agree to that.
Why?
So you don't
just because I don't believe your points of view.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I'm spouting the red pill philosophy, and you're saying no. So
that
you obviously
must be woke, because woke people say they're red pillars because they've been awoken to the truth, which is the red pill. So are you saying that you're a woke person now?
I've been studying the red pill for 4 or 5 years, and I'm actually part of the MGTOW community, and I've been in MGTOW, and I contribute to MGTOW online communities all the time. And you are the very first person I've ever heard that red pills people say they're woke. Where did you get that from?
That was on the internet.
I don't know what internet maybe
Same one as you. There isn't a different one.
Maybe you're on the dark web or something. I don't know where the hell you're getting your internet from.
I've seen, and I'll have to dig up the article again. Are woke people red?
Was it written by a woman? What happened?
Don't remember.
Yeah, pretty sure that somebody is talking a lot of crap somewhere. This sounds like is either a woman or a blue pill, somebody who's talking absolute nonsense. What do you mean? We said earlier today I said we're given the example of Neo. You wake up to the true nature of women. But being woke is something else completely. Being woke is waking up to a social consciousness about everything. It's nothing to do with the nature of women.
No, but they're using that red pill analogy where
but being woke is very specific in normal discourse nowadays. The woke are the people who cancel people. They're the pro-trans, pro this, pro that, pro everything. Those are the woke. So you can't then
the whole point of woke is that they're awake to what's going on.
No, that's not the point. The point is you can't then take red pill. So if you just suddenly become socially conscious, if you just suddenly say to me, oh, Tyler, do you know what? UK politicians, the Tories, they're showing a lot of sleaze now. I just realized that they're really sleazy a lot. Then I say, oh, that means you're woke. What the hell are you talking about? You can't just put people into a different category because they happen to use maybe the same word. When I said we wake up to the nature of women, then you put me into the entire worldview of the woke. The woke people are a separate category from anything. They got nothing whatsoever to do with the red pill. Nothing.
Why then do they say that?
Who say what?
Why do they associate themselves with the red pill, with the same?
Nobody associates. I'm red pilled, and I'm with red pill people. I even on groups with red pill people. I've never ever heard anybody say that we're woke. I don't know this article of yours. Okay, let's stop. Give me the article. Let's have a look at the article.
Let's find it again. No, let's find it. We'll carry on with our show. And
I want to find this article because it's ridiculous. What are you trying to say? I'm woke because I'm red pill. What the hell does that mean?
Oh dear me! You see how sensitive.
That's like saying I'm a pygmy because I'm 6'4". I mean, when I'm 6'4", how can I be a pygmy? Say, well, in the land of the giants, you'd be a pygmy. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're just playing with concepts. Left, right, and center.
Why are you getting so?
I can't stand lack of logic, man. Your logic here is appalling. It's just not there. Nothing offends me more than lack of logic. There's no logic here. You're just using words. Blah, 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 blah. I'm mixing them up. Blah, 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 blah.
You're trying.
It's like gibberish, man. What are you doing? It's gibberish. What the hell are you talking about? I'm red pill, therefore I'm woke.
No, what? I'm giving you an example that I've seen, and you're now contesting it because you don't like it. It's messing about.
Of course I don't. Of course I don't like it because it's meaningless. The woke. You and I had a show on not so long ago when we spoke about how wokeness is destroying cinema.
Yeah.
Well, that
talking about cinema. I've just been to watch the Eternals. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I could have told you that, man.
Oh dear. I had no expectations actually. I'd never seen a trailer. Sorry, I'm jumping in and steering the show a bit. But Eternals, my son said, oh, it's coming out, a new Marvel film. He said, do you want to watch the trailer? I went, nah, it'll be great. I wish I'd watched the trailer and saved my money.
No, you'd have gone. Apparently, the trailer's quite good, apparently.
Well,
I haven't watched it, but people say the trailer is that based on the trailer, they went to watch the film. And like you, they were like, oh.
Yeah, oh.
And now, when you talk about woke, you see the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, they're woke. They're like all the woke things. They loved Wakanda Forever, which I thought was a rubbish movie. They loved anything woke, they love it. But the astonishing thing, the thing that is gobsmacking everyone is that they don't like the Eternals. These are the woke people, and they don't like the Eternals. I think it's like 48% of the critics, which is amazing and so this is led to various questions on the forums that I go to, MGTOW forums, where we're all saying, how come the woke critics don't like this woke film? And we don't understand what's going on. Something there's been, okay, this is just an incidence of one, so that's not a trend. That's not statistically, it's nothing. It's just one. But could this be the start of something big in Hollywood? And if so, why? Why is it happening now? Something seems to be going on. Something really, really big seems to be going on in Hollywood, which we've really digressed from. I haven't even started talking about the main substance of the show.
Okay. All right. Well,
look,
I digressed about the film. I just wanted to bring it in because you mentioned about woke, and we were talking about woke, whether they're red-pilled or not. I found an article. It was actually on Twitter. That's why.
Yeah.
And he's put, it's funny how woke and red-pilled are the same exact term, but the woke people hate red-pilled people, and red-pilled people hate woke people.
Thank you very much indeed. I am perfectly satisfied with that.
He's countering the red pill quote that was said. So yeah, he's countering.
Thank you very much. And there we have it.
They hate each other.
Like with a passion.
They do, but even though they both are trying to steal the term or use the term.
Nobody's trying to. No, I'm quite happy that here I represent all red-pilled men. By the way, they're even red-pilled women. So I recommend all. I represent all red-pilled people. We really don't care about woke term. They can keep their term. Nobody wants to use the term. It just happens that in English we have to say the red pill wakes you up to the true nature of women.
Which is what woke are now saying. So that's the problem. They're trying to.
The woke are not saying that they're waking up to the true nature of women. The woke
are saying they're waking up to the true nature of oppression and
thank you. So but we both have to use the word WAKE, woke or whatever it is. We have to use that same word because that's the verb. But that doesn't mean it's like running, man. I run. Tom Cruise runs, but I run differently from the way Tom Cruise runs. It's not the same thing at all.
I know it's not the same thing, but I'm asking you.
Well, why did you
they
then
are
accuse me
now
of being
associating it because they're awoke because they've had the truth. The red pill is the truth, and that's what they're used for. You've got different religions that all based on the same thing.
Wait, the woke are saying that they're red pilled. The woke are not saying they're red pilled. That's not true. The woke are not saying they're red pilled. The woke, I don't think the woke people even say. I don't think woke people say they're woke. I think they just are woke. I can't imagine who's woke. The women on The View, they are woke as hell. Wasn't with that black actress with crazy hair and everything that was in The Color, not in The Color Purple. She was in, I can't remember her name now. Not Oprah Winfrey. She was in SNL, Saturday Night Live, which is supposed to be funny back in the 80s. Do you remember her?
I found the article. There you go. It was theatlantic.com. I will send that. If of interest of our listeners, we'll put it on our page as well, but I'll send it to Tayo so that he is aware of it. But yeah, it's just the association of the term. The red pill, in as you've rightly said in the film The Matrix, was to show that he'd been opened his eyes to the truth, and that is all it is. Now you've taken it from your movement.
Written by Caitlin Tiffany. God knows if she's
You've not read the article yet. You can't just make it just because a female wrote the article.
That's right. So
that's misogynist. Read the article
there's nothing wrong with being misogynist, pal. Okay, if there's a good reason to be misogynist, then be misogynist. If there's no good reason to be misogynist, do not be misogynist. So don't just take it that, okay, a misogynist, ergo the person is wrong.
Well,
it's written by a female, and I prefer that it was written by a red-pilled man, because when a woman is writing about it, I don't know what her agenda is. I don't know what the hell the Atlantic is. I'm going to have to look into it.
Atlantic's very famous publication.
What is it? Left wing, I suppose, completely woke. So I will read this article, but it looks to me straight off the bat like it's just BS. And I'm just looking at giving it a quick read. I don't know what the hell she's even saying. She's got Hitler in there. She's got all sorts of things. So goodness knows what.
Okay. Anyway, let's put that to one side. You can read that off air and come to your own conclusion.
And then she ends by saying she's beach pilled. This is obviously somebody just tulip pilled.
Okay, right. Let's move you back on point. I mean, you've got to be careful.
And she covers technology. Caitlin Tiffany is a staff writer at the Atlantic, where she covers technology. Yeah. So I wonder how the red pill got into technology. I'll read it, but
okay.
The classic meme about being radicalized is now so absurd. It means almost nothing at
You
all
see,
to her.
you've got to sort of go with the flow occasionally with life and not.
And
be...
it's under technology. Okay. So this magazine, the Atlantic, has put out this. The alt-right has lost control of Red Pill, which looks to me a very political statement. They put on a technology, and you want me to respect this enough to read it? I will read it, and there's going to be one of our famous rants coming out from this.
Okay, that's fine. Do it that way. Do a rant. You can do a rant after you've read this because you've got your view. That's absolutely fine. But I'm just showing you that I think you sometimes need to. Yes, the idea of a man being manly is fine. I mean, a lot of women do like that.
We don't need your permission.
No, I'm not giving you a permission. I'm just explaining.
It sounds like you're trying to give me a permission.
No.
It's being a man. It's all right to be a man.
No, I never said that.
It's not. Yeah, you just said it. Just said it's okay if a man wants to be masculine. There's nothing to do with it. I think
half the problem is your deep fear that somehow...
I don't have any fear. You haven't proven any fear.
Okay, I'm giving my opinion, which I'm allowed to do as well.
Look, I can't call you an elephant and say that it's my opinion.
Can I give you my viewpoint and then you can counter it if you don't like it? Yeah.
You've just finished telling me that I'm. You've called me. You've already said my masculinity. What is it? It was fragile. So you've already said it. Yeah. I'm like, well, okay. What the hell does that mean? Who do you know? Because I don't want to hold a woman's handbag. What?
Yeah.
And then when I said to you, do you want to be
all right. Like here's a question for you. Would you go to a fancy dress party where the men dress as women and the women dress as men as a bit of fun? Or is that gone now past the point of no return?
Of course I would. And I think I'd make a terrific woman.
Okay.
In fact, I'll tell you what, I think
So why have you got a problem with holding a handbag? Do you see what I'm saying here?
I can't tell you because like either you get it or you don't.
Okay.
So apparently you don't get it.
Because of what other people looking at you carrying the handbag feel, you think that they will think. Is that what it is? If there's nobody there, if there's no one there in attendance, let's say you're at a hospital waiting room, right? And your wife has to go in. There's no one in there, just you and your wife.
Hold on.
I'm giving a scenario. Are you
putting a handbag on the chair next to me and look after my handbag isn't the same thing as asking me to stand there holding a handbag? So what's the problem? Leaving a handbag? So let me just pop in here.
I am making a scenario to see how you would respond, right?
It's fine.
I'm trying to understand your viewpoint on this particular issue.
It's fine. You can leave a handbag and walk in somewhere. I'm not holding it.
So no one's watching, so you're okay.
I don't care about people watching. Who cares whether people watch or not? You think that I care? You should even know Tyler better than that, man. When was the last time I told you that I care what people think? I'm always the one who says I don't care. In everything. I don't care what you think. I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always said so. So I don't know. I'm saying I'm not going to stand outside Tesco's and hold your freaking handbag.
Right. I think we're digressing a little bit because what you want to bestow, especially on our audience and myself, about the MGTOW movement is making adequate examples and a case for that movement of what it stands for and why it's a benefit, as opposed to little things like, being worried about holding a handbag. You're diluting and making the whole movement sound silly because that in the scale of things is so small. You're now looking at a whole scenario. Someone's built a house. It looks amazing, but there's a tiny crack on a brick on the far corner of the house. But the house is the best house that's ever been built. You're focusing on the brick. Somehow you need to look at the bigger picture and go, okay.
I started out by giving you a different example and you weren't satisfied with that. And then we got to the handbag thing. And then you traduced my masculinity, which is not going to endear me to you at all, as you very well know. So, and that's where we've been stuck, basically.
Yeah, we have, because I'm picking up on the minor point that you're highlighting, rather than the bigger picture and going, hold on, what is
It's not a minor point. What is symptomatic of a bigger thing? It's symptomatic. Holding a woman's handbag, in my opinion, is symptomatic of symptom. It's a very good.
Think that's a huge issue then?
It's not an issue. It's symptomatic. It's the kind of. I've been trying to avoid saying it, man, but there's going to be two kinds of men who listen to this. There's going to be one kind of man who understands what I mean by you don't hold a woman's handbag. And then there's going to be the other kind of men who say there's nothing wrong with holding a woman's handbag. And that's the fundamental argument we're having in society now. And it's nothing to do with the women. It's how men are. In a strongly masculine society, we will all know you don't hold a woman's handbag. It's symbolic of something, and you don't do it. It's not the same as looking after a handbag. Looking after a handbag, when she puts it down and says, look after that for me, that's different. But holding a handbag and standing with a handbag in the hand, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. And it just
that makes you feminine
you're
by holding
blue.
a handbag, doesn't it?
It makes you a simp.
Feminine.
It doesn't make you feminine. Man, if you're a man, you're a man.
A simp does favors to women. He's not manly. He's feminine in his.
He's not feminine. He's just not manly. He's weak. He's with feet. He's weak. He's limp-wristed.
So if a man was buying a woman flowers, that's simp behavior because he's being weak.
No, it's not simp behavior at all. No, it's not simp behavior. It's accepted in our society.
So okay, give me examples of simp that's weak in your eyes, where doing favors.
You've already said that you're going to watch football. You're going to play football with your friends on Saturday, and she wants a lift into town. So you tell your friends to naff off and you take her into town, even though you're not hitting it, even though she's not giving you any rumpy in bed.
Right. And is she going into town for a doctor's appointment that she needs you to take?
No, she's just going shopping. Also, going to see her friends.
Okay, you then weigh that up as it is. You don't then
so
give
I'm
up
saying,
everything.
So I'm saying, well, no. So a simp just gives it up. That's
no. But
excuse me. Did you ask me to give you an example of symptom or not,
okay.
or do you know? And you're going to tell everybody the example. Who's giving the examples here? Me or you?
Go on.
Exactly. I've just told you one. This is a sign of a simp. A simp says, "Yeah, he's already said I'm going to play football with my friends," and then she says, "Can you take me and drop me off at this?" No, I can't because I've just told you I'm going to play football with my friends. Sorry, that's a man. The one who says, "Okay, you know what? Okay, I'll change. I'll let my friends down, and I'll take you." That's a simp.
Okay.
Good.
Right, I understand now. How many examples of that in society are there?
It's an ongoing thing. There are going to be countless examples. If you think about it, when you should be doing A, but you're doing B because you're simping for a woman, that makes you a simp. You should be standing there like a man or going into the shop with her. I don't know, even if it's a lingerie shop, whatever it is. Why have you got to stand outside while she goes in whilst you're holding a handbag? It's like, well, what's the problem? I'll come in with you.
So can I go back to the MGTOW movement then? So it's not against women.
No, in fact, I'm glad you got that.
Men. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But although the name, it's got women in the name.
Men going their own way. It's got women in the way.
Okay. Right.
It's got women in there. No, men going their own way.
Okay, so your argument is against simpness for men being too weak and not being manly enough. So your argument
actually that's not truly anything to do with MGTOW, to be honest. Excuse me. That's me, Tayo. To be honest with you, MGTOW is a man who understands. Look, the MGTOW philosophy is this. Today's society is gynocentric, which means it is focused on women and it overprotects women, and it is dangerous to be a man in this society at this time.
Please elaborate on that, because that's quite an interesting point that you've made.
So in a society where they say believe all women, if you're stupid enough, if you don't take care of yourself, if you're not careful, you could end up being accused of something, wrongly accused of something, and no one's going to be on your side. The society is going to work against you. If you get divorced, especially in America, I think it's worse in America and Canada than it is in the UK, but I don't think it's a great thing here in the UK. You get divorced, you'll probably lose your house. Especially the young children, you'll lose your house, you lose half your income and half your pension. So we in MGTOW, we're very careful to understand that this is the situation now. Now, there are 5 ways of reacting to that. All of them include being highly sensitive to any situation in which women are involved and doing everything you can to avoid becoming a victim of circumstance. That is MGTOW. That's it.
Right. So do you believe, therefore, if you're a masculine man and not simp,
Mm-hmm.
that all those things would not happen? In other words, if you divorced a wife who was not very happy with you anymore because you only think about your own interests because you're being masculine, so she
There
then
is
files for
no
divorce.
there's no
No, no, no.
definition there's no definition of masculinity which means only think about yourself. In
Ah,
fact, not that we've actually finished the show, we never got around to talking about it. Not that we got around to talking about it, but being masculine means being protective. It is instinctive. And it is one of the things we're supposed to be discussing. I don't know how we spent an hour talking about handbags.
because you brought
We
it up and made a
I
big
brought
thing
it up, but I
about
didn't
it.
expect you to start traducing my masculinity, my friend. So basically, you had to just inveigled me into defending myself against this spurious attack on my manhood, which is ridiculous. And you never. The whole idea is, why do women hate men in this society? The men have got two, not men. Women and men have got two reactions to vulnerability. The reaction of a real man to vulnerability is to be protective. So when a man sees a vulnerable woman, his natural instinct is to protect her.
Which is a good trait.
When a woman sees a vulnerable man, her natural instinct is to be disgusted. How is a vulnerable man going to be protector? He's supposed to be stronger. Statistically, what are we? 30%, 40% stronger. But so she ought to be able to depend on you for defense of herself, defense of the children, defense of the house, defense of the homestead. But if you're busy crying into your soy latte, that's a waste of time. That's not going to be effective. And if you're standing around holding handbags, are you going to use the handbag as a weapon? What? I don't get it. So neither does she. That's the point. And then you've tried to tell me just now that you're going to have problems because you're not being protective. You've got everything upside down. You've got everything upside down. A man is protective. That's part of being a real man. But
So
MGTOW
you
is
think
walking
that
away.
men have lost that then in
MGTOW,
society?
it is being manipulated. Yes, first of all, they have lost that because they've been told that. Do you remember in the 70s? Was it in the 80s, 90s? You know, when men started wearing mascara in public and everything. You know, it started with the pop singers, and they'll say, "Oh
I
yeah,
think they were just trying to make that right. Again,
women."
that's been taken too far because all it is just them to create a fad to be different, to stand out. And at the
Yes,
end of the day, they want people to follow. And when something is different, people follow. It doesn't mean they had an agenda. Again, we're looking at
I
it
don't
too
think they had an
deeply.
agenda, and I never
No.
even said they had an agenda. I'm just
Okay.
saying when it was around that time that the sensitive male thing started becoming big. Oh, men should be sensitive. No, nobody needs a sensitive man.
Are
Okay,
you
what
sure about that?
society?
You're speaking for a lot of women here from a man's point of view. And shouldn't we
What
ask our audience what do they prefer? Do they prefer
we are talking about what we have noticed, what MGTOW has noticed, why women hate men in today's society, which is the title of this show. They hate men because men aren't men. They're simps. They're wimps. And women, naturally, commonsensically, in my opinion, very, very common sense, are not attracted to wimps. Why would they be?
Okay, can I ask a question then? And we can actually put this to our audience, and I'd love the audience feedback on this very topic. What do you expect a man to be? Wouldn't it make sense for them and that to see what they expect rather than men assume? Because clearly this idea about men being vulnerable, showing their warmth side, is part and parcel of the package. Most of the time, I would suggest, is only in my opinion, women like a man to be masculine, as you say. But on the odd occasion, they also like to him to be vulnerable so they can feel closer to him as well. So they don't want him to be vulnerable all the time, by all means, but just to be human. And that's all. So I'd like to ask this question to our audience who are listening to this. What are your views on this? What of mainly the females who are listening? What do you want from a man? Do you want a man to be masculine and always be masculine? That's your viewpoint. Or do you want a man as Taya was pointed, that started in the 80s, to also show some traits of vulnerability?
I don't
Or
know
do you
why.
just want either? So it would be nice to know. I mean, we're making an assumption here from a man's point of view.
You didn't listen to me earlier when I read you the MGTOW manifesto. What
Yeah,
she
but
says doesn't
it's made by
what she
men, isn't
says
it?
doesn't matter. I'm not going to take just like this
So you're
Caitlin
making
Tiffany.
an assumption here that
I'm not
this
listening
is.
to women. Women tell you one thing and they actually mean something else entirely, or they just mean it for that 1 second, or they just mean it for the 1 hour they're talking to you, and then
So
they change their minds all
you're
over again.
dissing women's point of view
Yeah,
altogether.
absolutely, just ignore them. That's being red pilled, baby. And I told you I'm red pilled. So why would you ask me to not be red pilled now suddenly and start asking them for their opinion? Nobody cares about their stinking opinion. I don't care about their opinion. Their opinion is meaningless. They'll tell you one thing today, they'll tell you nothing tomorrow. When a woman says to you, look, I want you to be a man, take charge. Okay, I'll take charge. Okay, this is what we're going today. This is what we're doing tomorrow. Then give it a few weeks or a few months. Look, man, what the hell's the matter with you? You never asked me what I want to do. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll ask you what you want to do. So what would you like to do today? What would you like to do tomorrow? And then give it a few months pass. Why are you always asking what you want to do? What I want to do? Why can't you be a man and just tell me this is women? It's completely nonsensical. If you're not red pilled, you keep falling for this nonsense. Just be a man. That's it. That's all that's required. Now, if she likes it, fine. If she doesn't like it, walk. Bye-bye. Shut the door quietly on your way out. 3 billion women on the planet. We'll handle it. We'll find someone. Thank you for your time. And she's not yours. It's just your turn. Understand that. Finish.
That's an interesting quote at the end.
Yep.
Okay. Now, okay. So what you're saying there, is this message to everyone listening, or is it aimed at the incel group? Is it aimed at the
Incel?
Well, what's their problem then? You mentioned them earlier. This is the involuntary celibate crowd.
If the incels are generally a young generation of men brought up by single women.
That's
And
very generalistic. Do you have stats to prove
it is. Who is you between myself and yourself? Who actually belongs to? Who goes on incel groups in Facebook and talks to them? Me or you?
You do.
Exactly.
That's why I'm asking the question. I mean,
Well, I don't have stats. It's just the people I talk to. I speak to people like this, and I try to give them strong masculine guidance that they've never had. They grew up in single-parent homes with women, and they don't know how to be strongly masculine. Poor bastards. So what I do is I talk to them and I explain things to them, and little by little, and I'm called Sigma on the sites. So if you look me up in Facebook, incel face is Sigma. Someone been you actually see my picture, so you know it's me. No, the incels.
So you being a one-man crusade to turn these people around and not go down this dark route and try and turn them out and make
at least stop them being so unhappy and tell them what they can do. You know, get into the gym, man. Beef up for a start. It's one thing. Get out of the house and take the MGTOW philosophy at first, which is stop worrying about what women think about you. You're young. This is the time to really work very, very hard at your career. This is the time to travel. This is the time to read, educate yourself, grow your mind. This is the time because your value, your sexual market value as a young man is close to zero in this society. Unless you happen to look like, you know, Adonis, or I don't know what the black equivalent of that would be. But yeah, unless you look like somebody like that, where you go onto Tinder, and you remember you know the 80-20 rule, do you? 80%. Yeah. Okay.
Pareto, well, yeah, 80-20, yeah.
Which is
basically 20% of the men on Tinder get 80% of the women.
Right. So
unless 80% don't get anyone.
80%. If you're not in the 20%, which most incels won't be, otherwise they wouldn't be incels, then what you need to be doing is what I said. Build yourself up, take self-defense classes, build up your confidence, travel, read, educate yourself, and work blooming hard, right? And by the time you're in your 30s, you'll have women flocking after you because you'll be the man. Okay. So you are building your future up, and your attitude will have changed too, because you realize at that point that we've been sold the biggest lie that men have been sold by women and by feminists. The biggest lie of all is that women are the prize. Actually, women are not the prize. Men are the prize. Because in a relationship, men bring the resources. Now, you get someone like oh my goodness, what's her name? Drew Barrymore.
Mhm.
She's on, she's been married 3 times. Just had, I don't know about just, but she's had a 3rd divorce.
Okay.
And she's on a dating site. And Sharon Stone's on that dating site. And
How do you find out what dating site this is? How do you know?
no, because there's Drew Barrymore has a show, a talk show,
Okay.
and she was speaking to the 3rd person. I think it's Sandra Bullock, but I'm not entirely sure. So if it's not Sandra Bullock, I'm sorry, but I know Sharon Stone, Drew Barrymore, and one other woman. And this other, was it Cameron Diaz? Whoever it was, she was thrown out of the site because they couldn't believe that she'd need to be on the site. So the owners of the site said, no, you can't be her.
Yeah.
And they threw her out. And then you're asking yourself, you think to yourself, why are these 3 women, why are they on a dating site? Surely they should be able to find.
But isn't the dynamics there changed because they bring the resources?
The dynamic, excellent, thank you. So one of the things about our society and why women don't value men anymore is because women always marry down. Sorry, marry up, I beg your pardon. They marry up. It is a rare woman who marries down. So if she has 1 million, she will look for somebody, it's instinctive, who has more than 1 million. It's just instinct with them, okay? It's natural, it's commonsensical. She's not looking for somebody who she's going to look after. She's a mother to her children. She doesn't want to be a mother, if you like, to her husband.
And money is the indicator here.
Money, position, power.
What if someone was an Adonis and broke? So she's saying that she wouldn't be attracted to
that is I'm not going to use the expression that we use in MGTOW because it's a bit rude, but that is a toy boy. That's just for toys. That's not for showing off to her friends.
So what does she look for long term then, in your eyes and MGTOW's eyes?
She looks for a man, a serious, like say, a CEO or somebody. Just think about this. Somebody should be proud to introduce to her friends. Just that's a simple way of looking at it. Would she like to show up with some broke-ass toy boy? Or would she like to show up
money, not looks?
It's position. It's knowing, even if it's like, it could be a doctor, it could be a surgeon, someone that she can respect. And her friend, no, more importantly, someone her friends would respect. If she gets the top plastic surgeon in Hollywood, and when she walks in with him, all the other women are going, ooh, she got him. Ooh, she's happy.
So she's happy parading her prize as long as he has money or status.
Money or status or something. He's got to have something. He could be, I don't know,
the fact that he treats her well.
Of course not, man.
Gives her good sex.
You see, you're blue-pilled, man. You just
I'm asking a question. I'm not stating. I'm asking a question.
Answer your question is absolutely.
You know how women think. So I'm asking a question. So those other things
are irrelevant.
Are totally irrelevant.
Completely. This is okay. So simps can get some, but you'll get some after her 30s. When she's hit her 30s and she's hit what we call the wall. The wall is this. When she's from about the age of 14, she starts beginning to look pretty, and the boys start looking at her and giving her compliments. And that gets better and better and more into her 20s. And then she thinks, oh, this is great. She, like we like to say, there's an expression, give me free stuff, I've got tits. That's the mentality that is thrust upon them. Again, we're not blaming them. Blame men for doing this, for simping for very pretty women. And she's got this. She's in a prime. She's in the prime of her life. She's having a time of her life. All this male attention, and then she hits 30, and then she realizes that the guy that used to cross the floor at the bar to come and speak to her, he's looking at her and smiling, but he's not crossing the floor anymore. And then he's turning around and speaking to somebody else. And she starts to notice that all the attention she used to get before, she no longer gets. And then she starts to panic. It's like, what's going on? And now she finds that all the high value men that used to want to be with her don't. In fact, they don't, yeah, if she throws herself at them, okay, if there's nothing happening, they'll take her home for the night. But that's it. So then she thinks it's time to settle down. And then she starts looking around. This is the time of the simp. This is the time where she will go with the make-do kind of fellow. She's not really attracted to him. She doesn't maybe even like him that much. And she'll probably treat him like dirt. But he's been waiting for 30-something years and he's a simp, so he goes with it. And that's their lot together, and probably she'll drop a couple of kids, and at some point, 10, 15 years later, she'll kick him out of the house, take his money, and keep the kids and keep the house. And that's where he's headed, because he's not red-pilled, and he's a simp. He's blue-pilled simp. Okay. So women, that's part of the nature of the beast. You have to understand that, and you have to not be there. Okay. when she's looking for that, the wall is that realization of understanding that that blush, that bloom of youth is gone.
Okay. Right, I'm mindful of the time here. We really have reached the end
of
the show.
I haven't said anything.
Well, it doesn't seem that way, but okay. So your actual title, let's go back and finish up now. In an equal society, can women avoid hating men? So have we answered that question?
You've not heard about why men are no longer provide value to women? I did mention how the two genders see vulnerability differently. I've mentioned that. And the last thing, I've tried to explain that because we've allowed women to earn and to have the same earning power as men, and because of the nature of women to not want to marry down and not value men. See, a modern woman doesn't need a man. For what? They themselves say so. I mean, but they don't know what they're saying, but they say it. They say, we don't need no man, because they've got their own money. Like that song by all the single ladies, whatever her name is, Beyonce. Right? Yeah. What value does a man actually bring to them now? What can he bring? Most men can't bring anything of significant value to them. And they will always be looking up. I've forgotten the name of the blooming thing. And there's this trait.
I think you're being rather harsh though, in terms of
there's a reason why the marriage rate has tanked. I mean, it's less than 20% now. And of the 20%, 50% end up in divorce. And of the 50% end up in divorce, 80% was initiated by the woman. Mm-hmm. So there's a reason for that. And I'm telling you what the reason is. And then the last thing, of course, is if you think back to slavery, like before the days of the Atlantic slave trade, there really wasn't a racial problem, because the few Black people that were met were not treated any badly or anything. But with the advent of the slave trade, the attitudes had to harden. When you're mistreating someone, attitudes harden. You can't respect somebody you're mistreating. And in the same way, women exploit men and their resources today in this society. And like I said, you cannot respect people who you're exploiting. So what happens? They denigrate men. This is why there's so many shows on TV, have you noticed, where the women are very clever and the men are very stupid. And it's an ongoing thing. What rom-com can you think of where the guy is capable and he's masculine, he knows what he's doing? You're not going to see it. It's always an idiot of a husband and an absolute paragon of a wife. Maybe in the 50s, maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. If you think back to the days of I Love Lucy, I don't think she was.
Say that. I mean, in British TV, I think Miranda's really good. There's also that
what's
American
Miranda?
Comedy. Sorry?
Who's Miranda?
Miranda. She has her plight of finding a man and her tribulations and all the issues there. We had Bridget Jones and the free films there that she was trying to have problems. You actually saw the women's viewpoint of the issues she went down. And the men were strong in those films. So I'm
Hugh Grant was strong?
What?
Hugh Grant, he was strong?
No, they were still viewed with respect and good looks. him
Thank you.
and
Anyway,
the
wasn't
other
that back
guy.
in the 80s? Wasn't that back in
The fighting wasn't great, but
the
but other than that,
do you know, that was one of the most realistic fight scenes in any movie. That's exactly what it looks like when two idiots fight. And it was fantastic. I really love that fight scene. I think it's fantastic.
Well, anyway, right, okay. We've reached the end of the show. I mean, we really must wrap up here. So if you got any final points, otherwise we'll have to end.
Well, I wasn't able to make my final because we were all hung up in handbags. God knows how we're going to edit this one. But anyway,
I don't know. But anyway, we have reached the end of a show for another week.